everybody, it's Doreen, and welcome back to day number 10 of my Christmas card series. Today we will be using the Cricut and the Gypsy. If you don't have the Gypsy, you can still make this card. We will be using the Teresa Collins December 25th cartridge. We will also be using the Close to My Heart Artiste cartridge. And then we will be using our Spellbinder Nestability Card Creator dies, letter A and letter B. So now, what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making today. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay, everybody, so let's bring up the supplies, and we're going to get started with day number 10. So now, this card that we'll be making is from the Teresa Collins December 25th cartridge. So now, we'll start off with the card first. So I've gone ahead and taken some cardstock that I have, and this is some cardstock I've had for quite a while, so I don't even remember where I got it. But my card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've taken it and scored it in half to make it a 5.5 by 4.25 inch card. So now the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to be working with the card creator dies, and we're going to be using the A2 Basic A and the A2 Basic B. So our first layer is from the Basic A, and it measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're going to lay that layer down first. So I'm going to open up my card, and then I'm going to get out my scrap sheet of paper, and we're going to get some tape on our first layer. So I'll make sure I get my tape going all the way around. And then I'll get my tape in the middle. And then we'll go ahead and we'll add this to our card. So I'm just move this to the side, and we'll bring our card back, and then we'll add our first layer. And this cardstock that I'm using to add the first layer is some of the Joann Fabric textured cardstock. And I've noticed that Joann Fabrics now carries a cardstock that they're listing as calling it Coordinations. And I kind of snuck and opened up a pack, and it's just as thin as the textured cardstock. So I'm kind of glad, because it was on sale, and I'm glad I didn't go out and buy some more, because I just don't like that. It's fine for layering your cards and for making your cards if you're going to layer them. But it's not good to cut on your die cutting machine. It doesn't cut very well. Or at least I haven't had a bad experience with trying to cut with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our next layer. And this layer is going to come from our Basic B Nestability. And this layer measures 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. And this cardstock is from a paper pack that is by DCWV, and it's called the Christmas Combo Stack. So I'm using up some of my Christmas paper that I've been purchasing the last couple of years. So now this layer is going to be on top of here, and we're not adding any ribbon, so we can go ahead and get our tape on. And we can add this layer. Now I'm not inking my edges on my layers, because I've decided not to when I'm using the 3 layers of the nestabilities. So I'm going to lay that layer down on top of there. So now I have my 3 layers on my card, and I'm ready to add my embellishments. So we're going to add our reef. And as I said, the reef is from the Teresa Collins December 25th. And this is the reef that we're going to be putting on the card. And this doesn't have a handbook, so we just have this sheet here and your overlay. So what you want to do is, the way this works is it goes from the top down to the next one, and that would be how you add your layers and make your embellishment. So if we look at the sheet, it's saying you're going to add the wreath, and then you'll hit the shift key and you'll hit reef again, or I'm sorry, you'll hit number 7, key 7, and you put those two together and then you'll get your reef. So let's go to our gypsy and I'll let you see what that looks like and what I cut that at. So now I've cut the reef at 3.5 inches, and I left the aspect ratio on and didn't do any resizing with the aspect ratio. So that, as I said, is key number 7. I'm sorry, key number 6. And it looks like this. So you'll go ahead and you'll cut that out. And then, I believe I said earlier you hit the shift key, and that's incorrect. You will just go down to key 15 and put that on your mat. So that I've also cut at 3.5 inches. So let's go ahead and put our reef together with our top layer. And the other thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and inked in, using the Tim Holtz Distress ink, the pine needles, and spelled out Merry Christmas. And that is from a stamp set that's by Making Memories, and it's called Noel. And I apologize for the glare, but it looks like that. So I just kind of took it and put it on my clear block stamp, and then just kind of folded it and bended it so it would fit within my little banner. And then I've also inked my edges, as I said before. So what we want to do is we want to add this onto our card. And this cardstock I'm using is the same cardstock I'm using from my first layer, and it's the Joanne Fabric textured cardstock. So let's get our scrap sheet of paper, and I think what I'm going to do is use a smaller piece. And I'm going to use my Tombow to get this on here, rather than using the ATG gun. So we'll just make sure we get tape all along our edges here, because we want to make sure it does stick down. And I'm going to move my card to the side for a minute. And I'm just going to line this up and add this onto the card. And line it up like so. So there we have it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place this here, but what I'm going to do is I want to pop this up a little bit. So I'm going to get some dimensionals back on the back of here, and then I'll be back once I have those on. Okay everybody, so I'm back, and I've gone ahead and added my dimensionals on the back. But what I also did was went ahead and added the pearls that I wanted to put on the reef right now, so that I thought it'd be easier to get them on there, or put them on there now rather than after I've got the embellishments or my pop-ups on the back. It probably would have been harder to get them to lay flat the way I want it. So now my reef is popped up with my little pearls on it. So let's continue adding our embellishments on the front of the card. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add this little embellishment in the corner of the card, and this is from the Artiste cartridge, and it is on page 32, and it is the accent 4. So now let's bring up the gypsy and I'll tell you what I cut that at. That each one of these were cut at 1.5 inches. So I'm at the Artiste cartridge, and what you'll do is you'll hit your accent 4 key and then key number 2, and there is your corner, or your lace corner. So now we'll just get some glue on here, and we're going to add this to the corner of our card. So I'm going to use the two-way zig pen for this. Move my card back just a little. And I've gone ahead also and inked my edges, once again using the Pine Needles Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on the back of my corner flourish. And I think I'm going to take my tweezers, because I want to make sure I get this lined up in the corner right where I want it. And I think we're going to place it right there. And then I'm just going to press down lightly. So we'll get some glue on the other one. And I just dot my glue on here. If you have a Xyron, you can run it through your Xyron as well. So we've got enough glue on there. And once again, I'll take my tweezers. I'll move this to the side, and we'll bring my card just a little closer, and we'll add it in this corner. And then I'm going to press down. So now the only thing I have left to do is add my final embellishment on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my final embellishment and add the inside sentiment, and then I'll come back with the finished card. Okay, everybody, so I am back with my finished card. So what I've gone ahead and done is I'm going to bring, what I'll do is zoom in a little bit here. So what I've done is I've taken in my Bow Easy and made a simple little bow to put on the wreath. And then I took this flower that I got out of the dollar bin at Michael's, and they look like this. I apologize for the glare. Now they come with a clear bling in the middle, but what I did was took my big market pen and colored that in so I could get it the color that I wanted. And the color is meadow green. And so then the other thing that I've done, of course, you know I had to add my bling, so I've put some bling up here in the corner flourishes, and then I put some bling in each corner down here at the bottom. Now for the inside sentiment, what I've done is I've taken my Card Creator die by Nestabilities again, and this is from the letter B, and this was cut at 3 3/8 by 5 1/4. And then I took that piece of cardstock, which was just a piece of scrap cardstock, and I ran it through my Snowflakes Cuttlebug folder, which looks like this. And then I took my embossing ink and inked out my sentiment, which is from the Stampin' Up! 2002 stamp set. And then I embossed it using the Sparkle and Sprinkle Irish Spring. And then the last thing I did was took some of the scrap paper that I had, and I used the Martha Stewart Holiday Lights and punched this out and added it to the inside of the card. So that's it, everybody. This is day number 10 of my Christmas card series. Now don't forget to come back, because we're going to be working on day number 11. Bye.